Hey folks, it's Cornell with YouTube Fishing Bids. Well, isn't this a beautiful scene? I'm back up in Western Maryland, one of my favorite little mountain lakes, cruising down the lake, trying to get to this weedy point out here and get a topwater bite on. It's cool out. I'm wearing a fleece, unbelievable in June, but that's the way it is up in the mountains. You can get away from the lower elevations where that heat and humidity of the mid-Atlantic gets you pretty bad, and get up here and get a little escape. So here's the deal. I got to get my topwater bite on. That sun's coming up quick over the mountains, but in the meantime, while I'm cruising down to my favorite spot over here, I got a mystery tackle box pro box. Let's do a quick unboxing. I know there's a couple things in this box that are possibly going to come into play today, but let's do this real quick before this topwater bite eludes me. I got a Strike Pro, guys. I got a Strike Pro Jumper 110 SP. This is a jerk bait, and there are a lot of smallmouth in this lake, and jerk baits happen all year long, and the sun's coming up, so that's a great finish. So I got a jerk bait to play with today. Then out of the box, we've got a Optimum Boom Boom line through swim bait, and it's a subtle one, guys, and a great color for the super clear water. So I got a great swim bait that could come into play over some of these weeds and heavy vegetation that goes on in this lake. Then I've got Carl's Amazing Baits, the Golden Boy. The Golden Boy is a great, awesome. I've actually fished this, guys, but I can't fish it here. It's too bright, and I don't think the square bill is going to come into play in this specific lake, but I've got another one because I've got a couple of those, and they're great square bills. All right, what else do we got here? The Z-Man Trick Shot Z. No brainer on this. How many times have you seen me throw a Morning Dawn drop shot bait? That's going to be a killer one right there, nose hooked. And guys, this one right here is probably the one I'm going to play with a lot today and see if I can pull something off. I got a jig, guys. I got a, let's see, this is a lifted jig, flipping jig, a great color for clear water. But again, the way this lake works, I may not be throwing a jig, but I've got one for down the road in a great natural color. And then Carl's Stash. Carl's Stash came up with some bullet weights, got some great terminal tackle. Now, if I wanted to, I can punch some of these heavy weeds and heavy vegetation here and do something like that. But I know this lake, it's gonna be pretty finessey. So we're gonna play today with maybe some of those drop shot weights, the jerk bait, maybe the swim bait. But right now, if you look below me, I'm going over some heavy weeds and I'm right to my spot. Time to get our topwater bite on. The sun is coming up hot and fast, so it's going to be a bright sunny day. Last time I was out here, I had a whole morning of nothing but cloud cover. Incredible conditions when it comes to topwater fishing. Right now it's going to be a little tricky. I know the bite might be off a touch, so we'll see if we can get some topwater going on, but I'm probably going to end up going deep once that sunshine hits and those fish decide to go deep against those weed edges and who knows where. So let's see if we can just get a couple on top to start the day and go from there. That's the most topwater activity I've gotten so far. These beavers are giving me a lot of attention. Well, I can see why that beaver didn't want me around. I'm looking at probably one of the biggest beaver dams I've ever seen. That thing is absolutely giant. Great place to fish too, by the way. All kinds of bait fish hanging around there, small panfish and such. So I'm still chucking this little topwater popper. Nothing's happening. It's been pretty rough. I bailed on the weedy point that I was fishing. Come over here on a steep shoreline with a lot of cover and see if something might be hugging the shorelines a little bit. I saw a couple fish blowing up on the edges there, so I thought I'd come over here and give it a shot. So let's give it a little bit more time. The sun is literally already over most of the lake. I came onto this side to just work that last few minutes of shade before it's all over. So let's see what we can do. A couple more minutes of topwater fishing, then we're moving on. Oh my goodness, that was my one and only shot, guys, and he missed it. I think I pulled that away a little too quick. It surprised me. It wasn't a huge fish, but I did get a topwater blow up. Let's keep at it. Again, we don't have much time, but I got shade, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. All right, folks, last cast with a topwater bait, then we're moving on. I'm very confident it's gonna be a very finessey day. So I presume I'm gonna be breaking out that Z-Man drop shot bait here in a minute. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna get that all rigged up after this cast. We're gonna go from there. Okay folks, the fleece is off, the drop shot is on, and the sun is out. So there's that beautiful Morning Dawn. Very familiar color to me. That just happens to be the Z-Man, that trick shot. That thing's amazing. I had a friend of mine in a tournament recently using that exact bait, and he actually killed it. He actually did very well. So I got that set up with 6-pound test, a cylinder style, little itty bitty 1/8 ounce tungsten weight for my drop shot setup. And check this out, guys. Just because they are such amazing baits, and I've already tied that on. That's the line through Optimum Bait Boom Boom swim bait, guys. This thing is absolutely amazing. I actually just swam that through the water. And let me show you guys how good this bait looks. Yeah, it's a fish. I'm over some weeds on a point here. I'm gonna throw this, and this thing, I'm gonna have this thing come right at me. The way it tracks in the water is amazing. The water's clear enough for y'all to see that with this sun. Take a look at this bait coming at me. absolutely ridiculous action on this thing. So this is great. I know, and I'm familiar very much with these baits. So we're gonna go ahead and toss that around a little bit, but I also went ahead and tied on, which is a no-brainer because of the finish and the color. Look at the Strike Pro jerkbait that came out of the mystery tackle box. Isn't that beautiful? So that's on and that's ready to roll. So I got a perfect scenario right here. I got a very weedy point. I've got fish here. I know they're here. It's just a matter of whether we can get them to bite. It's a tricky day. Let's see if we can play and make something happen. All right, guys. Finally, I got myself a fish. Actually, this is the second fish. The first one was a really super dink, and this one's actually not that much bigger, to be honest with you, but it's actually on the Z-Man. I'm actually surprised I got a fish. Guys, it's been brutal out here. This dude got it right in the nose, right where it's supposed to be with that little itty-bitty hook. And guys, I think I got something figured out. I've got weed edges and I got a point. And that's really what I wanted to fish, and that's really what I wanted to do with this here drop shot. So there's number one. I don't have much time. I hope I can catch more than 2 fish today, but we'll see what we can do. That was actually my first drop right here. So if that's the case, let's just hope there's a bigger one. I threw that Boom Boom swim bait around quite a bit, and not to mention that Strike Pro jerk bait. I had that thing out there constantly in this little bit of wind that I got over some of these points, over weeds. I didn't get a single bite. It's definitely a challenging day for sure today. If I end up with any more than a couple dinks, I'll actually pretty happy for the efforts. There we go. Now that's a better fish. Sweet. Nice, guys. Finally got myself a nice fish, and right off a point. Look how pointy that is. I hope he stays on. He's butting pretty good from what I can tell. Let's see how this all works out. Nice. Okay. Finally, guys, got a nice fish right in that beautiful sunshine. And this is the ticket, guys. I knew the drop shot would be the name of the game. So let's keep on rolling, see if we can catch a couple more of these. I got maybe about an hour left to go. Beautiful mountain bass. There we go. Oh my God. Oh, it is like day of ultra dinks. I got some tick turds here, guys, but it's another fish, so I'm not going to complain, like I said earlier. So there we go, itty bitty little guy. All right, the state park and ramp is in sight. The lake's getting crowded with kayaks and little mini sailboats, and people are even swimming on the beach already. So I'm going to get out of here. It's not been a bad morning. You know, I talked to a couple people out here. They said they'd actually not caught a single fish. At least every single person I talked to that was fishing had not caught one. So I feel pretty darn good about keeping the skunk out of the boat, thanks to Mystery Tackle Box and the Z-Man drop shot bait. That was the name of the game, and I figured it would be. So here's the deal. Remember, there's a link in the description below. Use my code YTFV, short for YouTube Fishing Vids. Get your first box of your new subscription with Mystery Tackle Box for as low as $5. So folks, as always, appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. And until we meet again, over and out.